Hello, I am but a mortal man facing his last days. I most likely will not leave a legacy, however I will attempt to share my observations during my lifespan in the last half of the 20th century and the first decade of the 21st century. It has been a wonderful life. It appears that the future of mankind is now in our minds and hands. Welcome to my Blue Videos Shorts. I am proud to be an American. During the early years of the Cold War, early 1950s, the U.S. military wanted to perfect its early detection of aircraft and missiles. During their study of radar, they discovered holes in the ionosphere. It was quite evident to the military scientists that the holes were caused by carbon dioxide. Since the early ice ages, many hundreds of thousands of years ago, Mother Earth has made recordings of its yearly local atmospheric conditions in the snow or ice pack of its polar glaciers. Let us shorten the story. Man is a genius to make heaven on earth. Our modern-day technology has clothed, nurtured us, and convenienced us to the point that we can wage wars halfway around the world without leaving our borders. The real earthly problem is that the world is acutely starting to rapidly run out of free oxygen, and the bonds that holds our atmosphere from venting to outer space. Nitrates and carbon dioxide and the loss of the ionosphere are the real threats. Studies of the Earth's polar glaciers reveal that carbon dioxide levels of the Earth's atmosphere have surpassed by 150% of the Earth's own recorded history of millions of years, and the study reveals that Earth should be starting its natural cooling cycle. However, the carbon dioxide levels have continued to increase. The carbon dioxide level increase is indeed unusual, since it can be carbon dated to man's fossil fuel usage for the last 200 years. The majority of the new carbon dioxide signature is a result of mankind's fingers. How imminent is the earthy problem? Nobody knows, but many expert scientists around the globe believe that the tipping point of a lifeless Earth is close at hand, if not surpassed. This modern-day technology is knowledge, which translates to wealth and power, and maybe even survival, for the very elite and wealthy believers that the tipping point has been surpassed. Do you think that the elite and wealthy really want to share? Personally, I think that Mother Earth has a few more decades before the lifeless tipping point occurs. For man's knowledge of the entire universe is quite, infinitesimally, diminutive. However, our observations show that the natural laws are quite orderly, thereby suggesting that a highly intelligent force may have indeed created the heavens and earths. Our individual mortal state does not allow one individual the mental capacity to understand the entirety of the whole. If this was not so, life would not be worth living. Giving mankind control of Earth's destiny was God's gift. At this stage of our development, I would not expect him to intervene with natural events. I think that we can all agree that we are our own worst enemies. Our current behavior is that we all destroy and pollute. We are en route to our own self-destruction. The only disagreement is when we will reach our final destination. I enjoy life. I hope that many more people in the future enjoy life. However, it makes no sense for mankind to continue our destructive and polluting habits when we have the collective knowledge to mend our ways. Let's look for better alternative ways of powering our automobiles. Water as an energy carrier, or steam power, is slightly better than our internal combustion engines. Steam automobiles were the first self-powered road vehicles. They were big, labor-intensive, inconvenient for short trips, and very inefficient. Electric cars became popular with the elite in the early 1900s. Fast forward 100 years, and a new small high-tech highly efficient, 100-horsepower steam engine was introduced by Cyclone Power Technologies. If the Cyclone Mark V proves to have the serviceability and longevity of its ancestors, it should prove to be a winner. While I was gathering the knowledge to prove or disprove the claims of the Cyclone Mark V steam engine, I stumbled upon what I will call water cars, or HHO gas cars. First, I must try to educate you. More than likely you are a human of modest means, intelligence, and your place in society is to make money for your boss and pay your share of taxes. You are part of the common masses of humanity. If not, I welcome you anyway. I will now attempt to rewrite history with my limited skills and knowledge. The New World Order is nothing new. The function of any government, be it local, state, national, or religious, is to protect the rich and elite from losing their political status and wealth. Fortunately, the Western world's elite views human life is somewhat sacred and does not tolerate large-scale mass murdering for any extended amount of time. Government is a necessary evil. Without government, chaos rules. Almost all of the world's elite believe that free energy for the masses is chaos. In the beginning on his sixth day, God the Almighty created man in his own image and he saw that it was good. He gave man the freedom to think and act as we please, even if it kills us. Therefore chaos would be mankind's natural state without man's laws to govern the masses. Today we are seeing chaotic violent revolutions against some failed national Middle Eastern governments. Governing the common masses is not an easy task, especially in the small modern world. Here is a list of requirements that a modern-day national government has to fulfill to avoid a violent revolution. 1. The common masses must be educated enough to perform useful work, but not smart enough to actually think for themselves. 2. The common masses must believe that they are being compensated fairly for their work. 3. The common masses must possess and practice good moral principles. A national government that fails to accomplish 75% fulfillment of any of the three requirements for over 20 years is ripe for a violent revolution. Watch out when two of the three requirement drops below 75%, when one of the requirements have failed the 75% mark for over 20 years. Perpetual motion machines were known to be impossible, however an machine obtained the U.S. patent in about 1978. The machine was patented as an electric motor producing about 5 horsepower mechanical, for about 750 watts of electrical power input. That is, 1 horsepower input produces 5 horsepower output. The real earthly problem is that the world is acutely starting to rapidly run out of free oxygen, and the bonds that holds our atmosphere from venting to outer space. Nitrates and carbon dioxide and the loss of the ionosphere are the real threats. Now, I believe we can talk about burning water as a fuel. This may be our last hope of saving our spaceship Earth as we know it.